This work challenges the age-old notion that quitting alcohol is a grueling battle. It asserts that overcoming drinking problems can be straightforward and enjoyable, similar to the method that has helped millions quit smoking. The aim is to debunk the belief that only those with the strongest willpower can overcome alcohol dependency, while highlighting the possibility of a painless and rapid cure. The method draws inspiration from the support systems in groups like Alcoholics Anonymous, but diverges by offering a criticized yet bold claim: alcoholism can be cured permanently. It argues that ingrained societal beliefs perpetuate the myth of an incurable disease and proposes a solution grounded in questioning these notions, encouraging an open mind. The approach reveals alcohol dependency as a giant confidence trick, suggesting that once the illusion is dispelled, freedom is within reach. The method draws a parallel to unlocking a combination lock, daunting until the right combination is known, but easy once it's revealed. This reflects a fresh perspective that breaking free from alcohol is possible with the right mindset. Imagine a solution that allows immediate, stress-free liberation from drinking. The method claims to offer exactly that, without the agony of withdrawal or losing social enjoyment. It advises that understanding this methodology can lead to a life where alcohol no longer holds power. This transformative approach beckons with promises of simplicity and effectiveness. The text critiques traditional approaches to alcoholism, like those used by professionals and supported by governments, as unnecessarily complicated. The argument is that these methods overemphasize the difficulty of overcoming addiction, while the solution proposed here simplifies the process and makes it accessible to anyone willing to challenge existing perceptions. Dubbed Easy Way, this technique claims over 90% success in ending alcohol dependency in just a few hours. Participants are urged to follow specific, simple instructions laid out for them, effectively revealing the combination that sets them free. This empowers individuals to reclaim their lives and enjoy social situations without alcohol. Readers are encouraged to approach this method with skepticism, but open-mindedness. The notion of entire liberation from alcohol might seem far-fetched, but the approach hinges on questioning previous misconceptions and starting afresh. It's a journey of self-discovery, offering clarity and empowerment to those determined to leave alcohol behind. The lessons from overcoming alcohol addiction extend to broader life challenges. The guide underscores the benefits of shared experiences, empathy, and support systems. It suggests the potential establishment of organizations for handling various life stresses, potentially preventing many from turning to alcohol in the first place. This approach proposes holistic solutions to life's myriad hurdles. Keeping an open mind is critical in evaluating our beliefs about alcohol. Despite a tendency to cling to established views, the book argues that being willing to reconsider these beliefs can lead to profound realizations. It compares this mental openness to accepting that the earth revolves around the sun. By challenging entrenched stereotypes about alcoholism, such as those perpetuated by experts, readers are encouraged to question the status quo and explore new solutions with clearer understanding and less bias. Society often overemphasizes the appeal of alcohol, overshadowing its potential drawbacks. This section reveals how our perception of drinking can be distorted, akin to viewing a bottle half full or half empty. By focusing on factual rather than romanticized perspectives of alcohol consumption, you can see its true impact. The book also discusses the role of collective beliefs, challenging the idea that the majority is invariably correct, especially in matters of complex individual habits like drinking. The guide emphasizes the importance of self-assessment in overcoming alcohol dependency. It underlines the value of understanding personal motivations and societal influences rather than following generalized solutions. The book critiques certain traditional approaches like AA, suggesting that an empowered mindset grounded in self-awareness and logical thinking is more effective. By embracing a fact-based view and distancing from conventional wisdom, readers can foster an enduring sense of control over their drinking habits. Alcoholism is not merely about drinking too much. It involves losing control over one's drinking habits. Unlike social drinkers who indulge occasionally, alcoholics often see their consumption spiraling out of control. This distinction shines a spotlight on the severe repercussions alcoholics face compared to the casual, sometimes boisterous behavior of social drinkers. Misunderstandings stem from misconceptions and societal biases, complicating the recognition and confrontation of alcoholism. Identifying whether a drinking pattern crosses into alcoholism requires careful reflection on control, or the lack thereof, over consumption. Identifying alcoholism involves observing various signs, such as frequently drinking more than intended or relying on alcohol to face personal issues. According to experts, if you often find yourself sneaking in a drink or experiencing memory lapses post-drinking, these could be warning signs. The loss of control is crucial. It's the core indicator of alcoholism. Unlike social drinkers, alcoholics struggle to moderate their intake. This alarming lack of control, often apparent to others but less so to the person in question, raises the need for serious introspection and possibly seeking professional guidance. A contentious point in alcoholism discourse is whether it is a progressive, incurable disease or a condition one can recover from with help. Organizations like AA advocate that while there may not be a cure, recovery is possible with support. This concept of recovery versus cure emphasizes that alcoholism isn't an insurmountable barrier, but rather a manageable condition. However, the path can be complex, masked by misunderstanding and societal stigma that discourages individuals from seeking help. Overcoming alcoholism requires acknowledging the problem and accepting assistance. Dr. Christian Barnard and other medical authorities have made strides in demystifying alcoholism, emphasizing the wide-ranging timeline and varied symptoms of addiction. Becoming an alcoholic can take years, and anyone is susceptible at different life stages. This diversity in onset complicates the identification process. Understanding and acknowledging these patterns can guide individuals to seek necessary help early on. While medical and professional perspectives are crucial, personal introspection remains paramount in determining whether one straddles or crosses the line into alcoholism. Alcoholism is shrouded in myths and stigma, often seen as a personal failure rather than a medical condition. Misconceptions include the belief that alcoholics lack willpower or moral strength. Such stereotypes delay acknowledgement and treatment. Social pressure and cultural norms often obscure the line between casual and problematic drinking, further complicating self-awareness and acceptance. Differentiating between myths and facts is vital in breaking down these barriers, encouraging individuals to confront their drinking habits without shame or denial, and promoting a supportive environment for recovery. Self-assessment plays a critical role in identifying alcoholism. Medical or expert advice may highlight potential issues, but only the individual can genuinely gauge their loss of control. Honest self-evaluation involves questioning drinking motivations, frequency, and impact on relationships and daily life. This introspection helps in determining whether one is sliding toward addiction or maintaining a healthy relationship with alcohol. While external labels or diagnoses can guide, personal acknowledgement of the problem is often the first and most challenging step toward change and recovery. Rather than getting entangled in labeling oneself as an alcoholic, the focus should be on seeking effective solutions and support. Addressing problematic drinking involves more than just naming the issue. It's about taking practical steps towards moderation or abstinence, whichever best suits the individual's needs. Support groups like AA offer community and resources for navigating this journey, emphasizing that recovery is possible. This proactive approach empowers individuals to regain control over their consumption and improve their overall quality of life, free from the grips of dependency. The pitcher plant, a marvel of nature, lures insects with its nectar, drawing them to a deceptive trap. Once inside, its sticky interior and slippery slope make escape nearly impossible. The plant uses subtlety over force, much like addiction, which captures its victims without them realizing until it's too late. This analogy sets the stage for a deeper examination of how humans, too, become ensnared by addiction, believing they can escape at will until they are deeply entrenched. Much like a fly in a pitcher plant, individuals often believe they can fly away from addiction. They anticipate control over their actions, only to find themselves deeper in the trap as they indulge more. Despite recognizing the consequences of their behavior, they mistakenly believe they are managing it. The reality, however, mirrors the fly's predicament. It never had control once it was drawn in by the nectar. This section highlights the deceptive nature of addictions, where perceived freedom is an illusion. Realizing one is caught in the snares of addiction often mirrors the fly attempting an impossible escape. Addiction, whether alcohol or another substance, creates a bleak cycle where attempts to cut down seem to only worsen the situation. Emotional struggles and denial exacerbate the feeling of entrapment, demonstrating how awareness doesn't equal liberation. Understanding why reducing consumption feels like a deprivation provides insight into the psychological imprisonment addicts face. Recognizing this struggle is crucial to understanding the nature of addiction. Comparing alcoholism to a pitcher plant's trap offers a stark reality. Control was never within grasp. Despite seeing consequences, addicts remain entrapped due to a lack of control that began with their first brush with the substance. Unlike the fly, humans possess the consciousness to understand their predicament. Acknowledging this control, or lack thereof, becomes the first step towards recovery, shaking the illusion of choice and setting the stage for exploring viable escape routes from addiction. Adjusting the definition of an alcoholic shines a new light. It's simply someone who realizes they've never truly been in control. This insight challenges conventional views of addiction as a sudden loss of control, instead suggesting that the foundation of this struggle is misperception. Understanding this offers empathetic insight into the plight of those trapped in addiction. By recognizing the deceptive control, individuals can start untangling from addiction's grip and reevaluate their position as not in control. Acknowledging one's lack of control is seen as substantial progress over those in complete denial of their addiction issues. This realization marks a significant step forward, distinguishing those who understand their predicament and want to remedy it from normal drinkers unaware of their vulnerability to addiction. This self-awareness fosters unprecedented opportunity for change and should be regarded as an achievement rather than a defeat. It sets the foundation for actively pursuing recovery through informed choices. Though the pitcher plant analogy highlights a seemingly inescapable fate, it ends with a message of hope. There's always a way out. The nature of addiction shows it thrives on mental misconceptions, making potential escape a matter of changing perceptions and misconceptions. By understanding the mental traps and confronting the factors contributing to them, individuals can take steps towards freedom. Recovery is possible and starts by unraveling the nuances of addiction, turning awareness into actionable steps. The notion that drinkers consume alcohol by pure choice is a widespread misconception. The chapter explores how if someone could simply choose to abstain, they would do so rather than struggle. This fallacy contributes to stigmatization, making sufferers seem like both prisoner and jailer in their dilemmas. The idea is clear. If you find it difficult to abstain or moderate your drinking, you are trapped, often against your will, in a psychologically complex hold, much like a prisoner. The first step is understanding that choice is often not as voluntary as it seems. A prevalent myth is that self-discipline or willpower is the key to overcoming addiction. However, the text challenges this belief, arguing that willpower is not the sole solution. Many determined individuals may still find themselves unable to control drinking, which suggests that reliance on willpower can be misleading and ineffective. This misunderstanding can leave individuals feeling guilty or defective when they fail to control their intake, which only compounds the problem. Recognizing that willpower is a limited resource and not the solution is essential in addressing the root causes of dependency. The chapter emphasizes shifting focus from the problem of addiction and its miseries to understanding and removing the underlying triggers. Rather than reinforcing the negatives of drinking and thus deepening the mental trap, the approach suggests tackling the core issue, the perceived necessity of alcohol for enjoyment and coping. By dismantling these beliefs, individuals can start seeing beyond alcohol's false promises. This mindset helps those at rock bottom to realize they possess the key to their release. A mental shift, rather than mere physical resolutions, is advocated as the path to freedom. Alcohol is widely glamorized as a source of exhilaration, but the truth is far less appealing. Rather than providing genuine benefits, alcohol is a powerful poison that depletes your health and finances. Despite its deceptive allure, alcohol offers no real advantages, contradicting the belief that it enhances social experiences or stresses relief. By understanding these misconceptions, you can begin to question its role in your life and recognize the potential harm it causes. While alcohol might seem like a mere social convenience, its long-term costs are staggering. Apart from the health implications such as a weakened immune system and impaired concentration, alcohol can drain your financial resources significantly over a lifetime. The expenditure adds up, leaving you poorer not just financially, but also in terms of health and well-being. Breaking free from these costs can lead to a more fulfilling and enriched life, unburdened by these unnecessary expenses. Alcohol is often perceived as a liquid courage, providing confidence in social situations. However, rather than bolstering self-assurance, it erodes your inherent courage and self-esteem over time. This subtle degradation can go unnoticed for years, as alcohol slowly dismantles your mental resilience. By stripping away this illusion and fostering your natural confidence, you can thrive without relying on external substances for validation or social ease. Alcohol dependency is an elusive trap, with many unknowingly ensnared. The process is gradual, often beginning with casual consumption that seems harmless. As time progresses, the perceived need for alcohol grows, even when it offers no real pleasure or relief. Recognizing this pattern is crucial in breaking the cycle. By shedding light on the deceptive nature of this dependency, you equip yourself with the tools needed to liberate yourself from its grip. The myth that alcohol relaxes is a dangerous one. True relaxation is the absence of stress and worry, something that alcohol cannot genuinely provide. Instead of soothing tensions, alcohol inebriates and numbs, masking any temporary relief as relaxation. Realizing this can open the door to healthier forms of relaxation that genuinely contribute to mental clarity and peace, rather than dulling your senses. Alcohol's widespread acceptance in society is a testament to the brainwashing that equates drinking with enjoyment and necessity. Many are caught in a cycle, influenced by societal norms that glorify it while ignoring its detriments. This summary seeks to enlighten you, challenging the preconceived notions that uphold this facade. By recognizing the societal misconceptions, you can make informed choices free from cultural pressures. Overcoming the alcohol trap isn't just about quitting, it's about embracing a new, vibrant life. With alcohol no longer dictating your choices, you gain clarity, health, and a rekindled sense of self. This journey requires confronting misleading beliefs and fostering an environment where you thrive naturally. Envision a future where your choices are dictated by true personal desires and not the false allure of alcohol, leading to sustained happiness and fulfillment. Alcohol is woven into the fabric of our social and cultural experiences from birth. Advertisements and media depict it as a source of courage, joy, and social ease. Whether celebrating milestones or winding down after a long day, it's portrayed as an essential component of life. This omnipresence creates an almost unavoidable inclination to drink, blurring the line between desire and necessity. The chapter challenges this norm, urging readers to question the conditioned beliefs that uphold alcohol's esteemed status in social contexts. Alcohol is a master of disguise, a beverage revered for its exhilarating effects, yet harboring the potential for devastation. Hollywood's portrayals of alcohol are largely one-sided, focusing on its perceived benefits, while seldom showing its darker, destructive side. Even positive traits attributed to alcohol, like relaxation or social confidence, are often exaggerated or distorted by media. By examining the contrasting sides of alcohol's allure, the chapter exposes a crucial truth. Its intoxicating hold isn't as glamorous as it seems. Society's portrayal of alcohol as a desirable elixir is the result of pervasive brainwashing. From a young age, individuals are conditioned to associate alcohol with maturity and success, reinforced by cultural stories and media representations. This conditioning induces a false sense of choice and control over alcohol consumption. The chapter argues that this societal pressure disguises the true nature of alcohol, aligning it with exhilaration rather than recognizing its potential to devastate lives when abused. Public perceptions of alcohol starkly contrast with its harsh realities. While heroin is condemned as a destructive vice, alcohol enjoys a more lenient reputation despite causing far more societal harm. The chapter highlights the societal bias that differentiates between legal and illegal substances, questioning why alcohol receives an exalted status. By equating alcohol's addictive traits with illicit drugs, the narrative urges a re-evaluation of its normalized status, inviting reflection on why we allow its widespread consumption. Addressing alcohol addiction requires breaking free from the illusions cultivated by societal norms. The narrative emphasizes the importance of recognizing the distinction between exhilaration and devastation, casting light on the hidden impacts of alcohol abuse. By examining personal anecdotes and societal patterns, the chapter encourages readers to make informed choices. It serves as a call to action, advocating for awareness and open conversations about the real effects of alcohol, ultimately empowering individuals to reclaim control. Many people start their day feeling overwhelmed by life's challenges, a feeling Carr reminisces about before finding liberation from addiction. He argues that societal structures push us towards this state by promoting unhealthy dependencies. These dependencies create a cycle of perpetual fatigue and dissatisfaction. Yet there's a stark contrast between this enforced overwhelm and the natural vitality observed in children who seem to have boundless energy. Carr invites us to challenge these perceptions by recognizing that real freedom and energy come from within, not from external crutches. By understanding and breaking free from these societal illusions, one can experience a life filled with energy and optimism. Carr draws a vivid analogy of life trapped in a maze of societal expectations, much like a child exploring a beautifully poisonous garden. The challenge is to retrace our steps and find the initial point of entry into this trap of dependency. He highlights that our struggles with substances like alcohol are not due to inherent deficiencies, but misconceptions and traditional narratives that have brainwashed us into believing we are incomplete. Understanding the origins and mechanics of these traps empowers individuals to navigate their way out, fostering a profound sense of liberation and self-sufficiency. A recurring theme in Carr's insights is the emphasis on natural instincts as guides for a healthier life. He points out that every function of the human body has been crafted over millennia to ensure survival. The dependence on unnatural substances contradicts these instincts, causing imbalance and distress. By neglecting our natural instincts, we ignore a wealth of evolutionary wisdom. Carr advocates for a return to these roots, emphasizing that our bodies are designed to thrive without external chemical crutches. Embracing these instincts can lead to more fulfilling, vibrant experiences, anchoring oneself in the here and now with clarity and purpose. Contrary to common perceptions, Carr insists that human bodies are not inherently fragile, but are robust, resilient machines capable of extraordinary feats. This misconception of fragility is perpetuated by societal norms and media, which often overstate vulnerability to justify dependencies on medications and substances. In reality, the natural world illustrates survival through adaptability and strength. Carr argues that by shifting focus from perceived fragilities to inherent strengths, individuals can build confidence, enhance health, and better cope with life's challenges. This reevaluation empowers a shift from dependency to true independence, reinforcing that personal health is a central foundation for a joyful life. Carr outlines the subtle yet pervasive ways society brainwashes individuals into accepting harmful norms. From a young age, we're exposed to ideas that adults should naturally feel constantly tired and stressed, legitimizing the use of stimulants and depressants. This widespread belief system conditions people to normalize unhappiness and dependency. By deconstructing these myths, Carr encourages individuals to reclaim their autonomy. Understanding how external influences shape behavior helps dismantle the false idols of dependency, paving the way for a more authentic, energized existence free from the unnecessary crutches that society offers as the only solutions. Carr's journey from addiction reveals a profound shift, from perceived necessity to true freedom. The transition from using substances for courage and confidence to living authentically without them illustrates the profound sense of liberation possible for everyone. Carr challenges the predominant notion that life without familiar dependencies is less fulfilling. Instead, he shares how overcoming addiction brings about unexpected gains, increased courage, energy, and appreciation for life itself. In essence, true enjoyment stems from breaking free of addiction's chains, allowing natural vitality to flourish once more. This realization invites readers to explore life beyond addiction, filled with potential, joy, and genuine independence. Carr sheds light on how modern society conflates stress with responsibility, suggesting that many stressors are self-imposed illusions rather than reality. He argues that responsibilities are often viewed with dread due to social conditioning rather than their true nature. Drawing parallels with wild animals who navigate life armed only with their instincts, Carr suggests we have all the innate tools to thrive under pressure. Shifting this mindset involves seeing challenges as opportunities rather than burdens. By reframing our relationship with stress and responsibility, we can cultivate resilience and joy, reaffirming that life is meant to be lived with vibrancy and vigor. Carr champions the idea that the human body contains all the necessary tools to navigate life's complexities successfully. Unlike machines that rely on external inputs, humans are born with sophisticated systems designed to maintain balance and health. This internal resource, overlooked by many, is a central theme in Carr's narrative. By trusting our body's natural instincts and processes, we can mitigate the need for artificial solutions. Carr's emphasis on self-reliance underlines the incredible power within, encouraging individuals to listen to their bodies and instinctively respond to life's challenges rather than turning to outside substances, ultimately leading to healthier, happier lives. Carr emphasizes the liberation that comes from challenging falsely held societal beliefs. He argues for the strength found in trusting natural instincts and the inherent wisdom of the human body. By recognizing that we are naturally equipped with everything we need, we can invert the common narrative dictated by reliance on substances. This shift allows us to question flawed beliefs about dependency and empowers a return to authentic living. Adopting a belief in personal strength not only strengthens resilience, but also cultivates a deep-seated appreciation for life's simple joys, framing challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable hurdles. Finally, Carr suggests that discovering joy in living authentically and embracing one's natural state is at the heart of a fulfilled life. He believes the human experience is at its richest when one feels genuinely alive, free from artificial aids that claim to enhance life. This liberating experience is rooted in acknowledging and nurturing our natural state, fostering a life of health, prosperity, and happiness. By leaving behind the societal constructs of dependence, individuals can reclaim their inherent joy, living each day with gratitude, purpose, and a redefined sense of freedom, untethered from the constraints of addiction or societal pressures. The chapter begins by examining how children naturally achieve genuine joy without the influence of substances. As they transition into adolescence, societal brainwashing instills the notion that external aids are necessary for happiness. This cultural shift from childhood innocence to adulthood reliance suggests that our society prioritizes quick fixes over natural contentment. Our advancements, meant to liberate us, have instead enslaved us. The Industrial Revolution's promise of progress has turned into a dependency on technological crutches. While we've eradicated certain evils, we've introduced new challenges, embodying Frankenstein's monster, a creation turning against its creator. Our intelligence, once a boon, is now a burden. Despite global technological achievements, we face a new kind of destruction of our planet. From pollution to overpopulation, technological progress has ironically propelled environmental degradation. The supposedly superior species found itself damaging the planet it inherited, creating a stark contradiction between intelligence and sustainability. Progress has come at a cost. While science and medicine have extended life, they have also introduced antibiotic resistance and new diseases. The chapter discusses these unintended consequences, emphasizing that our attempt to outsmart nature often results in unforeseen complications that increase human suffering. Education has lost its purpose, becoming a relentless pursuit rather than a tool for growth. Standard testing and societal pressures force students to function in a system that values grades over essential skills. This constant pressure leads to stress and a continued reliance on technology as a crutch, rather than allowing for true educational enrichment. The social allure of alcohol is potent. Early exposure and societal norms make it seem necessary for adulthood. This perception, coupled with tricky traps, where alcohol's repulsive taste initially deters addiction, fools individuals into dependency. As drinking becomes a social staple, it turns into a deceptive routine increasingly difficult to break. Realization dawns, often too late, that alcohol has taken a toll on life. As the chapter unfolds, it portrays the critical juncture where reduction attempts emphasize dependency. The text draws a parallel with a fly trapped by nectar. The desire to break free increases, but so do the barriers. Personal stories emphasize this painful journey towards self-awareness and the struggle to escape addiction's grasp. Relying on willpower to quit alcohol often results in the opposite of the intended effect. Society suggests that drinking is both a pleasure and essential crutch. As challenges arise, the willpower method burdens individuals with the fear of sacrifice, making quitting seem like an uphill battle. Many find themselves returning to alcohol for comfort, trapped in a cycle of dependence. The misconception that eventually avoiding alcohol will become effortless is a dangerous illusion, as underlying beliefs about alcohol as a forbidden fruit never truly change. Abstaining from alcohol using willpower may temporarily improve life, with personal relationships, finances, and health seeing positive changes. However, as time passes, the memory of alcohol's misery fades, leaving room for temptation to creep back in. This perceived absence of alcohol-related stress might lead one's guard to drop, making just one drink seem harmless. Unfortunately, this logic ignores the persistent trap of addiction where one drink leads to many, highlighting the need for a deeper understanding beyond just willpower for true liberation from alcohol dependency. A large portion of society drinks not because alcohol is inherently enjoyable, but because it's socially encouraged. Many mistakenly attribute their drinking habits to pleasure or stress relief, yet it's often a facade. The belief that social events are ruined without alcohol is a mental barrier constructed from societal norms, not reality. Removing alcohol from the equation doesn't lessen life's enjoyment. Realizing this involves confronting the idea that our lifestyle choices are not as dependent on alcohol as they seem. The fear of withdrawal is a common deterrent for those considering quitting alcohol. However, the physical withdrawal symptoms from alcohol are frequently exaggerated. In truth, they are mostly mild and manageable. It's not the physical attachment that makes quitting hard, but the psychological association that alcohol is essential to life's pleasures. Understanding that habits, once seen through the lens of reality and choice, can be more easily broken than assumed, is key to overcoming this mindset. Despite claims to enjoy drinking, many people don't actually savor the taste of alcohol. This dishonesty often begins during adolescence, when fitting in leads to adopting behaviors without genuine enjoyment. Peer pressure continues to influence drinking habits into adulthood, with individuals convinced they don't have a choice but to participate. The conversation shifts when recognizing that these are excuses, a blend of social pressure and personal denial, rather than valid reasons to drink. Misunderstandings about the benefits of alcohol abound, even among medical professionals. Some claim it reduces heart attack risks, yet overlook its detrimental health impacts. Society selectively acknowledges positive narratives while dismissing the proven harms. Alcohol's supposed advantages often serve as a smokescreen for deeper issues of addiction and denial. Recognizing the emptiness of these claims requires critical thinking and a willingness to challenge prevailing misconceptions about alcohol's place in our lives. Our journey into alcohol typically starts with sweet, palatable drinks, masking the unpleasant reality of alcohol's true flavor. Most first encounters with stronger beverages like beer are less than pleasant, with the body's natural defenses warning us of the poison we consume. Yet, alcohol in its dual role dulls these senses and infuses a false sense of thirst, coaxing us into another sip. Society's acceptance and parental behaviors influence the persistence to acquire this taste, leading to repeated exposure and a gradual immunity to both the taste and the effects. Cultural norms and mental conditioning play significant roles in how we perceive alcohol. The social setting surrounding drinking often clouds true taste experiences, leading individuals to associate alcohol with positive moments rather than its intrinsic foul taste. This deception is compounded by the ubiquitous belief that drinking is a social glue rather than a potentially addictive behavior. Many drinkers even convince themselves of their preference for alcohol, despite its bitter nature. Over time, people mistakenly equate sipping on a glass of wine with pleasure, while in reality, factors beyond taste drive their continued indulgence. Alcohol is often miscredited as a courage booster. However, the reduction in fear that alcohol provides does not equate to an increase in bravery. Instead, it dulls the senses, numbing fear rather than truly empowering individuals to face it. Many who turn to alcohol for confidence aren't aware of the difference between genuine courage and the temporary escape that alcohol offers. This reliance can mask the true capability of one's natural instincts, which, when uninhibited by alcohol, can better guide actions in challenging situations. Animals rely on fear as a crucial survival tool, responding to threats with instinctive actions without contemplating bravery or cowardice. Fear prompts them to take necessary protective actions, akin to a fire alarm alerting us to danger. Humans, with our complex brains, often misconstrue these instincts with societal constructs of bravery and cowardice. Thus, instead of vilifying fear, recognizing it as an ally helps maintain a clear perspective on how to wisely navigate life's challenges without succumbing to unnecessary risky behaviors. Social norms often push individuals to behave contrary to their instincts, leading to confusion about courage and fear. For instance, societal expectations for males to demonstrate fearlessness can override personal instincts, leading to actions taken out of shame rather than true bravery. These inculcated beliefs can result in misguided actions, such as engaging in aggressive sports out of a fear of being deemed a coward. Without the burden of these norms, individuals might exhibit genuine courage rather than succumbing to peer pressure. Turning to alcohol during moments of fear can create an illusion of security, much like the proverbial ostrich burying its head in the sand. Instead of effectively dealing with the root cause of fear, alcohol dims the alarm, presenting a temporary calm. This analogy underscores the folly of masking fear rather than addressing it directly. True courage arises from facing fears armed with full faculties, not diminishing them with substances that cloud judgment and perception. Courage is not just a battle against fear, but an informed assessment of risk. A hypothetical scenario of traversing a narrow girder highlights this concept. A clear understanding of one's instincts, risk, and the necessity of action is vital. This contrasts sharply with reckless bravado mistaken for courage. Alcohol skews this evaluation, often heightening recklessness. Instead of enhancing courage, it obscures clarity, suggesting that genuine bravery arises from thoughtful consideration and an unclouded mind. Comparing humans' use of alcohol before daunting tasks to an ostrich sticking its head in the sand illustrates an important point. Both actions stem from a misunderstanding of how to handle fear. Unlike the ostrich, humans have the capacity to face fears rationally. Ignoring challenges by dulling the senses with alcohol replicates the bird's ineffective strategy, leaving us vulnerable rather than fortified. Recognizing this can inspire a shift from avoidance tactics to more constructive fear management strategies. Challenging the myth that alcohol endows courage, the chapter emphasizes clarity as a potent enabler of courage. Real bravery involves addressing fears with a clear mind, unencumbered by substances that impair judgment. Relying on alcohol, instead of facing challenges directly, nurtures dependency and undermines true confidence. Overcoming fears through rational strategies, rather than intoxicants, represents genuine empowerment and builds lasting self-assurance. Rediscovering one's natural courage, unclouded by alcohol, can reveal an innate ability to confront life's challenges effectively. This chapter argues against societal cliches that peddle alcohol as a quick fix. By refining our perception of courage, detaching it from artificial enhancers, individuals can tap into their genuine strengths. Embracing clarity allows for better decision-making and a truer form of bravery, fostering self-reliance and resilience that no external substance can replicate. Inhibitions are often viewed negatively as obstacles to overcome. However, they act like a natural safety net, protecting us from potential embarrassment or danger. While shyness can be uncomfortable, it's a natural response that helps us navigate social settings. Misunderstanding this often leads to the belief that alcohol is required to ease social interactions. Yet, realizing that everyone carries their own shyness can lead to genuine connections without the need for artificial courage, helping individuals embrace themselves and others more authentically. Alcohol significantly lowers inhibitions, which can escalate aggressive behaviors. In social settings or potential confrontations, this loss of restraint can turn disagreements or minor altercations violent. Without the natural fear of causing or receiving damage, inebriated individuals might engage in harmful actions they would typically avoid. This demonstrates how alcohol's removal of fear is not beneficial, as it skews judgment, leading to regretful outcomes. Understanding this dynamic helps highlight the importance of personal restraint in maintaining peace and preventing senseless acts of aggression. Driving under the influence is a prime example of how alcohol distorts senses and responsibilities. What seems like enhanced driving skills is merely reduced apprehension, leading to reckless behavior. Despite the illusion of controlled driving, alcohol impairs judgment and reaction times, endangering everyone. Realizing the gravity of these consequences stresses the importance of abiding by responsible behavior, showcasing how crucial it is to remain aware of one's limitations while under the influence. This highlights a compelling argument against drinking and driving. For many, alcohol equals entertainment, but the reality can be quite contrasting. Inhibition loss often leads to undesirable behaviors, such as mindless chatter or offensive remarks. The notion of having a good time while inebriated is misleading, as recollection fades and so does genuine enjoyment. The social setting, perceived as lively, often becomes a blur of repeated tales and hazy memories. Recognizing this perspective helps one appreciate sober interactions, where true enjoyment and awareness lead to richer experiences and meaningful connections. Nervous reactions like a startled jump are often mislabeled as weaknesses. In reality, these responses are vital survival mechanisms, akin to birds reacting instinctively to potential threats. They indicate our bodies are functioning normally, alerting us to possible dangers. This perspective helps reframe nervousness not as a defect, but as part of our natural defense system. A striking realization during a tense group session showed attendees that their nervous reactions were normal, helping them address their more significant concerns. Contrary to popular belief, alcohol does not relieve stress, but compounds it. While it temporarily dulls the senses and makes one oblivious to discomforts, it doesn't address the underlying issues causing stress. Over time, alcohol dependency can amplify stressors, prompting a downward spiral of increased consumption and deteriorating health. This vicious cycle reveals the deceptive nature of alcohol as a relaxant, only creating more problems and reinforcing dependency without offering true solutions. Activities or substances that are perceived as relaxing often only mask underlying tensions rather than resolve them. True relaxation involves addressing the source of stress rather than relying on temporary fixes like alcohol. Environmental changes, such as taking a bath or changing into comfortable clothes, remove specific aggravations, illustrating how direct solutions are necessary to achieve relaxation. By understanding this, individuals can better manage stress and pursue more effective means of relaxation that don't involve harmful dependencies. Addiction is often masked by the illusion of control, where individuals believe they can manage their consumption. Whether it's referring to oneself as a user or downplaying tobacco or alcohol as mere habits, this belief militates against acknowledging the full extent of addiction. The realization of true addiction strikes when control is evidently lost. Even seemingly casual dependencies begin with the assumption that they serve as controllable indulgences. This misconception creates a cycle where individuals fail to recognize their addictive behaviors until dependency has taken root, often leading to a more challenging path toward liberation from the substances or activities. Traditional definitions of addiction fail to encompass its complexity. Rather than merely being a habitual action, addiction should be viewed as a compulsion to repeatedly do something despite the desire to stop. This redefinition highlights the involuntary aspect of addiction, where individuals find themselves trapped in a cycle they cannot easily escape. Such understanding emphasizes the importance of recognizing addictions not just through physical symptoms, but as intricate psychological struggles. Uncovering the true essence of addiction challenges the socially entrenched narratives and enhances the approach towards handling and overcoming addictions in a more holistic and effective manner. Societal influences play a significant role in the development of addictions. Cultural acceptance of substances like alcohol or tobacco often starts from social activities, where the use of these substances is normalized and encouraged. Over time, these behaviors are internalized and the social acceptance becomes a personal habit, sometimes leading to dependence. This conditioning can blur the line between social indulgence and addictive behavior, making it easier for individuals to underestimate their level of dependency. By understanding these societal frameworks, one can approach addiction with a critical eye, recognizing the powerful role of social conditioning in fostering dependency. The pleasure derived from addictive substances is often an illusion. While many assume that substances like alcohol or nicotine inherently provide pleasure, what they truly offer is a temporary relief from distress. This misconception propels the cycle of addiction, where individuals continually seek out the substance, believing it is a source of happiness. In reality, these substances create a void, which they then temporarily fill, creating a false sense of satisfaction. Understanding this dynamic is crucial in demystifying the allure of addictive substances, revealing them to be catalysts for a cycle of need rather than genuine pleasure providers. Withdrawal symptoms are commonly misconceived as solely a part of quitting an addiction. In truth, individuals in active addiction experience withdrawal as a persistent underlying discomfort, driving them to continue using to alleviate this sensation. This subtle pain, akin to an imperceptible itch, strengthens the cycle of dependency. The relief comes not from the substance itself, but from ending the withdrawal. Recognizing this continuous pattern highlights the importance of addressing the psychological triggers of addiction. By doing so, individuals can develop more effective strategies for managing cravings, reducing dependency, and eventually achieving lasting sobriety. From youth, society instills the belief that certain substances fill a personal void, providing joy or support. This brainwashing subtly alters perceptions, leading individuals to associate these substances with positive emotions. As hundreds of embedded cultural cues promote this mindset, it becomes challenging to perceive these substances as harmful. Breaking through these societal illusions requires an intentional shift in understanding, recognizing that fulfillment doesn't come from these substances, but from genuine experiences and connections. By redefining what is culturally accepted, individuals can challenge pre-existing norms, paving the way for healthier choices and reduced dependency on harmful substances. Addiction's machinations often remain concealed, operating beneath the surface of apparent normalcy. What starts as a seemingly harmless habit can evolve into a complex relationship of dependency due to misconceptions about the substance's effects. Initial encounters typically fail to deliver any genuine benefit, yet over time, the body's response fosters a false belief in the substance's value. This underscores addiction as a mental trap rather than a series of merely physical symptoms. By unveiling these hidden mechanisms, people can better understand how addiction subtly ingrains itself, facilitating more mindful approaches to prevention and recovery. The belief that substances inherently offer enjoyment is a widespread misconception. Often, the pleasure associated with addictive substances stems from relief from previous discomfort rather than the substance itself. When individuals reflect on their experiences with substances like alcohol, they often find that specific memorable moments of consumption derive from the surrounding context, not the substance itself. Parties, celebrations, or social gatherings lay the groundwork for perceived enjoyment. Acknowledging that the true source of happiness lies in the occasion itself, not the intoxicants, is a pivotal step towards disentangling oneself from the illusion of substance-derived pleasure. While addictive substances have undeniable physical effects, the mental traps they create prove equally potent. A constant cycle of need arises as individuals physically adjust to substances, requiring larger quantities for similar effects. This cycle expands into mental territory as the discomfort of yearning for the substance begins to govern thoughts and behaviors. The cumulative result reinforces the illusion that these substances are indispensable, overshadowing their physical disadvantages. By understanding the interplay between physical needs and mental desires, individuals can sharpen their focus on eliminating these deceptive cravings and reviving the mental autonomy lost to addiction. Breaking free from the cycle of addiction requires addressing deep-seated misconceptions. Recognizing that addiction largely hinges on societal conditioning and psychological misunderstandings is a crucial step. The journey to freedom involves shifting perceptions, seeing the addictive substance not as a source of pleasure or relief, but as a barrier to true well-being. By disentangling these illusions, people can begin the process of reclaiming control over their lives. This empowerment stems from focusing on genuine fulfillment and health rather than transient highs, leading to sustained liberation from the grasp of addiction. Hunger is an ingeniously designed mechanism by Mother Nature to ensure we nourish ourselves without experiencing actual pain. It's a subtle reminder that kicks in effortlessly and habitually. This automatic and painless process leads us to eat 3 meals a day, providing our bodies with needed energy and nutrients essential for survival, enjoyment, and well-being. Unlike what some habits might imply, eating is not merely a routine, but a vital necessity. Alcohol cravings mirror hunger, but mask a sinister truth. Unlike the genuine need for food, alcohol is a dangerous poison that captivates the senses and fosters addiction. It gives an illusion of pleasure and relief, but ultimately creates a destructive dependency. While food fulfills, alcohol induces cravings without quenching thirst, ensnaring individuals in a cycle of need. Understanding it's not a habit, but an addiction offers clarity and a path to liberation. The concept of an addictive personality suggests some are predisposed to addiction due to inherent traits or flaws. However, the reality is more complex. Addiction stems from a variety of factors: social, environmental, and psychological. Understanding addiction as a multifaceted disease challenges the notion that it's simply a result of a flawed personality. This perspective encourages a more compassionate and evidence-based approach to treatment. In the past, smoking was considered normal, with 90% of adult males partaking, while non-smokers were anomalies. This misconception parallels drinking habits today, where regular consumption is seen as normal, masking the reality of its risks. By reflecting on historical shifts in perception, we recognize that what is termed normal often disguises unhealthy practices accepted by society. Reevaluating these beliefs aids in dismantling stereotypes about addiction. The terms normal drinkers and normal smokers describe those oblivious to their potential addiction. Many believe they enjoy a genuine pleasure from substances, unaware of health risks. The distinction implies control over one's habits, yet even those deemed normal often let their consumption slip into dependency. By understanding this, we see that addiction isn't reserved for the extreme cases, but it's a spectrum affecting many. People often equate the act of smoking or drinking with pleasure or stress relief. This belief is an illusion. Both habits offer no genuine pleasure, but create a cycle of dependency, fooling the brain into craving more. Addicts derive no true joy from their habits, but rather they find themselves trapped, seeking relief from the discomfort the dependency creates. Breaking this cycle involves recognizing the illusion and seeing these acts for the futile rituals they are. Addiction does not stem from an immediate chemical imbalance in the body, as one does not become an alcoholic with their first sip of alcohol. If a congenital flaw were the cause, addiction would manifest immediately. Instead, addiction develops over years of regular use. Understanding its slow progression dismisses the idea of inherent predisposition and emphasizes the impact of continued exposure and psychological factors. The theory posits that chemical imbalances predispose individuals to addiction, yet no evidence supports this claim as a universal truth. Addicts continue using substances despite knowing their harm, not due to inherent flaws, but because of learned behaviors and environmental influences. Addiction therapy should focus on these contributing factors rather than labeling individuals as chemically defective. The belief that quitting substances is a matter of willpower alone is misleading. People often mistake an inability to quit as a lack of willpower, blaming themselves for continued use. However, addiction is a complex psychological condition influenced by various factors. Dismissing it as a personal failing ignores these complexities. Effective recovery involves understanding these influences and implementing comprehensive strategies beyond sheer determination. Cultural and societal brainwashing plays a significant role in addiction. People are conditioned to believe that certain substances are desirable, making it difficult for them to acknowledge their harmful effects. This indoctrination fosters a culture of denial and acceptance of dangerous habits under the guise of normalcy. Challenging these ingrained beliefs is crucial for addressing the root causes of addiction and promoting healthier paradigms. Reevaluating addiction as a multifaceted issue rather than an inherent defect allows for a progressive approach to treatment. By understanding addiction's complexity, including societal influences and learned behaviors, individuals can break free from the shackles of dependency. The Easy Way method, for example, offers an unconventional but refreshing perspective that has aided many in overcoming addiction without the mythology of addictive personalities. Contrary to popular belief, willpower isn't the main issue in addiction. Many assume that only weak-willed individuals become addicted, yet many addicts are intelligent and successful. The typical portrayal of addicts as chaotic and powerless obscures the truth. Addiction doesn't discriminate. The contention isn't about lacking willpower, but rather involves mental conflicts and indecision. Achieving success in challenging professions often requires strong willpower, yet those same individuals are prone to addiction, proving that willpower is a red herring in tackling these issues. Addiction creates an internal struggle where part of your brain yearns for the substance, while another wants to quit. This schizophrenic conflict leads to confusion and frustration. It's a mental tug-of-war between rational thoughts and desires ingrained by addiction. This concept of indecision explains why even the strongest individuals find it hard to overcome addiction. Successfully addressing addiction means ending this conflict, not through increased willpower, but by changing one's perception and understanding of the addiction itself. Society once viewed drinking and smoking as signs of strength and sophistication. Icons of toughness in Hollywood fueled these perceptions, but the truth is that strength and sophistication exist despite or are even hindered by addiction, not because of it. These societal pressures create environments where individuals feel compelled to succumb to addiction, even as they understand its adverse effects. Realizing that addiction isn't a measure of character can change how society approaches treatment and acceptance of individuals struggling with these issues. Using willpower to combat addiction often leads to failure and distress, as seen in cases where individuals vow to quit but relapse repeatedly. This cycle is fueled by the belief that merely resisting the urge is the solution, but the real issue lies deeper within the mind. The temporary relief found in giving up the struggle is mistakenly seen as weakness. True emancipation from addiction requires reconfiguring one's desires and mindset, removing the need for willpower by eliminating the impetus to consume the substance. The journey to overcoming addiction shouldn't rely solely on willpower, as lasting freedom comes from transforming mental attitudes towards the substance. Many have successfully conquered addiction by realizing and altering these ingrained beliefs. Understanding addiction's mental nature opens pathways to reclaiming joy without the substance. This perspective offers a sustainable solution, shifting from resisting urges to dissolving the underlying desire, achieving a life where the need for substances diminishes naturally and holistically, freeing individuals from the perpetual struggle of willpower-driven abstinence. Drinking is often seen as a friendly, sociable activity, but is this really the case? While alcohol can sometimes act as a social lubricant, it also has the potential to create antisocial behavior, such as when a person becomes aggressive or overly emotional. True sociability involves genuine connection and enjoyment, which doesn't necessarily require alcohol. Many activities like sports or clubs bring people together through shared interests rather than substances. Real friendships and companionships aren't contingent on drinking. Rather, they're built on mutual interests and positive interactions. A common fear among drinkers is the void that could be left in their social life by reducing or quitting alcohol. This apprehension is largely unfounded, as shown by the author's personal experience with swapping golf for lawn bowling, which filled his social niche seamlessly. The real fear, and the barrier to quitting, is the perceived loss of social ties. However, true friends remain, regardless of drinking habits. Once the illusion of alcohol being essential for social life is broken, individuals can enjoy a fresh, enriching social life devoid of alcohol. Social pressures often push individuals towards drinking under the guise of being sociable. This pressure is ironic, as non-drinkers are sometimes unfairly labeled antisocial. In reality, forcing someone to drink is the unsociable act. Drinkers often feel the need to encourage others to join them, providing justifications like just being polite. This dynamic mirrors drug culture's pushing. True sociability is about respect and presence, not forcing participation in activities someone dislikes or finds harmful. Addictive substances create artificial barriers between people, undermining genuine social interaction. True sociability is about being friendly and present. While drinking has been traditionally linked with social events, many realize that genuine connection doesn't hinge on alcohol. Movements like "Don't Drink and Drive" have helped change perceptions about drinking for social reasons. Alcohol isn't a requirement for enjoyment. Gatherings can be lively and fun without its influence. At the core, people crave authentic connections, not the facade that alcohol may offer. Understanding this helps individuals reclaim control over their social experiences, fostering environments where meaningful interactions flourish without the crutch of alcohol. Alcohol's association with happiness is widespread, yet it's crucial to acknowledge its nature as a depressant. Many perceive it as a source of joy, despite its capability to exacerbate unhappiness. By examining common situations, such as violent outbursts at parties or the despair that accompanies heavy drinking, this content highlights the paradox of alcohol-induced joy. Ask yourself, does the fleeting inebriation truly deliver happiness? Or does it mask problems temporarily without providing genuine contentment? These reflections invite deeper contemplation on the impact of alcohol beyond its immediate effects. Alcohol is often associated with celebrations, leading to the myth that it brings happiness at social gatherings. However, the laughters and moments of joy at weddings or parties are primarily due to the nature of the event, not the alcohol consumed. If alcohol were truly responsible for joy, why do we avoid it during solemn occasions like funerals? This section challenges readers to separate the situational happiness from alcohol's effects, proposing that the drink doesn't create joy, but rather highlights the existing mood of the gathering. Many turn to alcohol to drown sorrows, believing it offers temporary relief from life's troubles. However, the relief is ephemeral, with the hangover often making problems appear worse. Does alcohol address the root of the issue, or does it merely obscure it temporarily? By using alcohol as a crutch during tough times, individuals risk failing to confront the underlying causes of their unhappiness. The content urges a reconsideration of how alcohol is used as an emotional tool, suggesting that its use might lead to greater dissatisfaction. True happiness doesn't stem from relying on alcohol, a substance recognized for its addictive properties. The content suggests assessing the well-being of drinkers versus non-drinkers, pointing out that genuine joy exists in those who don't rely on alcohol. Venues like AA discos are noted for their vibrant, alcohol-free atmospheres. Consider how dependency on alcohol, even casually, impacts perceived happiness. Reflect on whether your enjoyment of events, meals, or socializing hinges on alcohol's presence, challenging the notion that happiness is entwined with this substance. Many believe they can control their drinking, but this is often an illusion. The pull of alcohol is akin to addiction, not a mere habit. Attempting to moderate drinking often results in heightened awareness of alcohol's perceived importance, which can exacerbate the fixation on finding relief in that next drink. This cycle of anticipation and restriction can make alcohol seem more valuable than it actually is, reinforcing the feeling that life without it is less enjoyable. Discover why cutting down usually fails, leading to greater consumption in the long term. Alcohol consumption is often steeped in societal myths. Many embark on drinking with perceived benefits, unaware they are being misled. These supposed advantages create a little monster within, generating cravings and dictating behavior that feels out of control. The realization that these benefits are illusory can be freeing. Seeing alcohol for the destructive element it is, like a slow-acting poison, can shift the mindset from feeling deprived to feeling liberated. Understand how shedding these misconceptions can pave the way towards a healthier, more conscious life. The fear of quitting alcohol for good can be daunting, but redefining this mindset transforms fear into liberation. Embrace the perspective that life post-alcohol offers joy rather than restriction. The narrative moves from trepidation about never drinking again to the satisfaction of never needing to. This shift is described as a burst of sunlight through clouds, dramatically improving life quality. Imagine a life unburdened by the need to drink. A life where you no longer self-administer a toxic substance is not only possible, but promising rejuvenation and clarity. Quitting entirely versus cutting down represents a critical crossroad for anyone struggling with alcohol. While cutting down might seem appealing, it's fraught with challenges like increased craving and psychological conflict. True freedom lies in the release from alcohol's grip, which cutting back does not provide. As attempts to moderate often end in consumption spirals and pseudo-control, committing to quitting offers a clean break and a definitive path to recovery. Consider how complete cessation can offer peace, control, and a renewed sense of self without the specter of alcohol looming overhead. Many people view moderate drinking as harmless, but this common perception can be misleading. The concept of normal drinking suggests control, yet it obscures the potential for dependency. Just as taking a small dose of poison gradually leads to adverse effects, moderate alcohol consumption can still be harmful over time. The belief in moderation is a significant part of the pervasive brainwashing that society undergoes. This illusion makes alcohol appear as a natural and enjoyable aspect of life, distracting from its addictive potential. Recognizing the brainwashing helps illuminate the truth about alcohol's nature as a poison, challenging the notion that moderate consumption is either safe or beneficial. Social settings often portray alcohol as a requisite for fun and relaxation. Many individuals fear missing out on shared experiences if they choose sobriety. Yet, seeing normal drinkers with clarity can reveal their gradual descent into addiction. The supposed benefits of moderate drinking become fleeting as the reality of alcohol's addictive tendencies surface. Rather than being envious of those indulging in alcohol at social gatherings, understanding the situation can provide a sense of liberation. This perspective shift allows individuals to enjoy the company and experience without relying on alcohol, ultimately leading to more authentic and meaningful interactions. The belief that alcoholics have a different chemical makeup or physical flaw is a misconception. Instead, the progression from moderate drinking to addiction is a gradual path many take unknowingly. Alcohol's addictive nature is not seen as a lack of willpower, but as a progression of the same disease. Society, influenced by misconceptions, often attributes this to personal weakness instead of recognizing the addictive nature of alcohol. This realization reshapes the notion of control. True liberation comes from acknowledging that the issue lies not within individuals, but in altering distorted perceptions about alcohol's role and its supposed pleasures. Alcoholism is often shrouded in myths that propagate misunderstanding. The idea that alcohol serves as a cure or crutch is false. It is the root of the problem. Consuming alcohol does not provide genuine pleasure or solutions, but masks them, exacerbating underlying issues. The common belief that only a change in willpower can combat alcoholism dismisses the broader societal influences perpetuating drinking culture. Recognizing these myths empowers individuals to reject the false narrative that alcohol offers any true benefit, allowing for a reframed perspective on sobriety as freedom rather than deprivation. Understanding that addiction is a mental, not just a physical issue, shifts the way it can be addressed. The drive to consume alcohol stems from perceptions rather than innate flaws. Changing these perceptions can be immediate and transformative, similar to correcting false scientific beliefs of the past. Knowing this promotes hope and possibility rather than despair and helplessness. Instead of viewing alcoholism as an incurable disease, acknowledging that the problem is mental opens the door for effective, lasting change. This approach reframes recovery not as an insurmountable struggle, but as an enlightening, liberating journey. Society's portrayal of alcohol is imbued with misleading messages that glorify its consumption. These messages begin from a young age, establishing a foundation that associates alcohol with enjoyment and relaxation. Dissecting this brainwashing reveals its pervasive influence and the false beliefs about alcohol's place in social settings. By confronting and rejecting these myths, individuals can break free from the belief that alcohol is necessary. Realizing that the allure of alcohol is constructed, not natural, makes overcoming its grasp easier. This clarity creates an opportunity to redefine personal freedom and happiness without reliance on alcohol. Choosing sobriety is often viewed as a loss, but it is in fact a gain, an escape from the constraint of alcohol dependency. Those who abstain discover joy in experiences once dulled by alcohol's influence. The clarity and satisfaction derived from sober interactions surpass the temporary effects of alcohol. Embracing a sober life enables individuals to redefine their social landscape and find fulfillment in being wholly present. This shift from viewing sobriety as a restriction to seeing it as liberation transforms the individual's outlook on life. It's a path to authenticity and fuller experiences. The narrative that some can drink in moderation without consequence is misleading and dangerous. Even those classified as normal drinkers may not realize their position in the gradual slide towards dependency. Alcohol's addictive nature dictates that what starts as moderate drinking often progresses unnoticed, contradicting societal beliefs about controlled consumption. Observing this paradox challenges the comforting illusion that distinguishes normal drinkers from alcoholics. Recognizing potential hidden dependencies dispels the myth of safety and moderation, emphasizing the need for awareness regarding alcohol's true effects. There exists a societal double standard regarding alcohol and other substances. While alcohol is socially acceptable and even encouraged, other addictive substances are rightfully viewed as dangerous. This disparity perpetuates misunderstandings about alcohol's impact. Addressing this inconsistency requires a shift in cultural narratives. By holding alcohol to the same scrutiny as other addictive drugs, society can better understand its role in the lives of individuals and its broader implications. This understanding can lead to more informed choices and a re-evaluation of what it means to lead a normal life concerning alcohol. Achieving lasting satisfaction comes from the clarity that sobriety offers. While alcohol promises pleasure, it often results in increased dissatisfaction, keeping individuals in a continuous loop of consumption without fulfillment. Recognizing authentic joy comes from moments and experiences unaltered by substances. The journeys and narratives of those who have left alcohol behind demonstrate a newfound appreciation for life. Understanding that satisfaction is attainable without alcohol challenges the belief in its necessity for happiness, paving the way for genuinely joyous and fulfilling experiences that are no longer masked by false perceptions of pleasure. Wine's allure in society often echoes the tale of the emperor's new clothes, where perceptions are crafted more by clever marketing than by actual quality. The ritual of selecting and tasting wine with its swirls, sniffs, and nods can create an illusion of sophistication. Yet, This intricate charade often ignores personal taste and the glaring reality: alcohol's addictive nature and dubious benefits. Tasting ceremonies become farcical when the supposed nuances of flavor evaporate after a couple of glasses, leaving one to question what they truly enjoyed, if anything. The wine industry thrives on claims of maturity and rarity. With products like Beaujolais Nouveau urging immediate consumption, we see a contradiction in the supposed benefits of aged wines. Such claims, coupled with exotic descriptors like cheeky or mysterious, frame wine as an exclusive experience, leading to overvaluation and hype-driven prices. In truth, the delightful sweetness some savor is often just the sugar added, not the wine itself. The industry's mystique cleverly masks its flaws, transforming an acquired taste into a necessity that's less about pleasure and more about perception. Many believe quitting alcohol is painfully difficult, often struggling because of misinformation about withdrawal symptoms. Contrary to common beliefs, the real challenge lies not in physical symptoms, but in overcoming the psychological craving created by addiction itself. Most fears stem from a misbelief in willpower methods, which can make quitting seem like climbing a daunting mountain. Yet, the process can be simple and more accessible by recognizing the true nature of these cravings and the myths hindering recovery. A key obstacle in quitting is the fear of severe withdrawal symptoms. However, most symptoms are misattributed or exaggerated. Delirium tremens, shakes, and visions are caused by alcohol intake, not its absence. The supposed flu-like symptoms are not unique to abstaining and are mainly influenced by environmental triggers and psychological states. Understanding these myths helps ease the transition away from addiction, as most physical symptoms are rooted in mental states rather than unavoidable physical withdrawal. Addiction operates like a confidence trick, feeding on misinformation and perceived benefits. The illusion that alcohol offers pleasure or stress relief keeps many trapped. By seeing through this facade, one gains control. Once the illusion disintegrates, the perceived benefits vanish, making quitting an empowering choice rather than a loss or monumental task. Realizing this can help transform the approach to quitting, shifting it from a struggle to a simple, straightforward journey toward freedom. Recovering from addiction opens unexpected doors to happiness. Beyond the restored health and wealth, significant benefits like regained self-respect, freedom from dependency, and renewed courage arise. These intrinsic rewards highlight how life's challenges are surmountable without relying on substances. Regaining control over one's faculties turns former obstacles into mere molehills, revealing a life where genuine joy comes from within, devoid of the pseudo-pleasure supplied by alcohol or drugs. The notion that one can control drinking by limiting intake is a common but dangerous myth. The belief that occasional indulgence can remain under control often leads to a cycle of addiction. True freedom requires acknowledging that for a chronic drinker, it must be all or nothing. Recognizing alcohol's false allure and the true costs involved provides the clarity needed to make a clean break and maintain freedom from addiction. Ignorance is the core of addiction. It drives the misconceptions of sacrifice, fear of missing social enjoyment, and the belief in dependency for stress management. This lack of understanding traps individuals in the alcohol maze, perpetuating the cycle. Shattering these misconceptions is crucial. With the right knowledge, one can effortlessly navigate past the facade of benefits and embrace life's richness without needing a drink. A shift in mindset is essential for permanent recovery. The willpower method perpetuates a cycle of fear and craving, bound by outdated beliefs. Embracing a new perspective where there's nothing of value to lose allows for a positive beginning. By eliminating the brainwashing and changing the outlook before the last drink, individuals see quitting as achieving something remarkable, rather than enduring ongoing deprivation. Mentally driven anguish, mistaken for physical withdrawal, often hinders recovery. Panic and stress amplify seemingly physical symptoms, just as soldiers feel shell shock without visible wounds. Addressing mental components recalibrates the quitting process, demonstrating what fruitful recovery could look like. When mind and perception are aligned correctly, remaining free from substances becomes a journey without overwhelming discomfort. Social functions and occasional drinks do not define happiness or social success. This belief is another falsehood that underpins addiction. Real enjoyment stems from genuine connections and accomplishments, not from alcohol-induced euphoria. Realizing this, individuals dismantle the perceived necessity of alcohol in social settings, paving the way for authentic interactions and stress management, further solidifying a life free from addiction. Breaking free from addiction is like navigating a maze. Misleading advice acts as dead ends, but true understanding provides the map to escape. Easy Way provides insights to navigate this journey, asserting that it's not difficulty, but misdirection and misconceptions that obscure the path. By radiating the concept that recovery equates to simple choice and clarity, one finds the true route. The instructions are clear: follow the correct path, lose nothing, and gain freedom effortlessly. Breaking free from alcohol starts with a shift in thinking. Instead of seeing quitting as a loss, embrace it as a gain, a path to a life not controlled by drinking. This mental shift makes all the difference, reducing feelings of deprivation and enhancing your sense of achievement. Evaluating alcohol as a source of devastation rather than pleasure helps solidify your decision, blocking any mental doors that lead back to questioning your choice. When you view quitting as gaining freedom rather than losing joy, you're already one step closer to success. Accept your decision fully and celebrate the new chapter unfolding in your life. Unlike willpower approaches that keep you in constant suspense of relapse, knowing you're free as soon as you finish the last drink ensures liberation. This approach removes the burden of doubt and waiting. Instead of taking life one day at a time, recognize the present moment as a gateway to long-term sobriety and well-being. Each day becomes a powerful testament to your choice, helping build future-focused confidence instead of dwelling on a past fraught with struggle. Understand that the little monster, your cravings, might persist as a minor nuisance, but they're manageable. Recognize cravings as remnants of past habits rather than signals of deprivation. Viewing these cravings as slight and transient helps diminish their power. Reinterpreting them as the dying throes of an unwanted habit ensures they lose their sway over your choices. This awareness prevents feelings of lack from sabotaging your will, empowering you to tackle any remaining cravings swiftly and effectively until they fade away completely, replaced by genuine contentment. Social events and special occasions often feel intertwined with alcohol, but removing this association is key. Engage in weddings, parties, or even dinners without linking them to drinking. You'll learn that these experiences stand strong on their own, full of joy and connection without alcohol's shadow. This realization demolishes perceived dependencies and liberates you from ritualistic drinking. Enjoy the freedom of choice and authenticity, liberating yourself not only from alcohol, but from the psychological constraints that suggested life was incomplete without it. Never see drinkers as enviable. They're grappling with an issue, often unknowingly trapped in a cycle of addiction. Recognizing your sobriety as strength puts you at an advantage, gaining health, clarity, and control over your life and emotions. Alcohol addiction is a confidence trick that deceives many to trade their well-being for fleeting moments of numbness. Stay aware that by choosing sobriety, you choose life. The true lament is not loss from alcohol, but the encumbrance it represented, and now you stand free from that tether. Create a life post-alcohol that's vibrant and satisfying. Rather than fill the void with substitutes, select activities and interactions that naturally bring joy and fulfillment. Reassess friendships, prioritize those aligned with your new values, and construct a supportive social circle. Use newly available time, energy, and resources wisely in pursuits that enrich your quality of life. Embrace hobbies, exercise, and meaningful experiences, not as distractions, but as genuine sources of happiness. With this approach, life after quitting isn't just livable, it's truly enjoyable. The act of having a final drink can symbolize an important transition. It represents the closing chapter of your relationship with alcohol. By making your last drink memorable, you can ingrain this milestone in your mind, turning it into a cause for celebration. The psychological shift you experience can help cement your resolve, allowing you to feel liberated from the doubt that accompanies quitting. Toasting with a non-alcoholic beverage after your last drink has been completed crushes the belief that alcohol is necessary for enjoying life's moments. One challenge of quitting alcohol is deciding what to drink in social settings. Many ex-drinkers find fruit juices preferable, yet some become sickening after a few rounds. It's important to avoid constant drinking of any beverages just to fill a habit once occupied by alcohol. Overindulgence in soft drinks can lead to health issues, similar to alcohol. Focus instead on your newfound freedom and remember how alcohol once clouded your life. Regularly remind yourself of these truths to prevent relapses sparked by social norms.